Hi guys, Harry here from the Art Gear Guide. Thanks very much for joining me today. As you can see, I have a review here of the Koh-I-Noor Polycolor brown line. But before I get into the review, I just want to make something very clear in case some of you think these are going crazy or whatever. I did have this review up yesterday, but I had to take it down because the audio was terrible. Now basically what's happened is I had a Toshiba camcorder a while ago, which is what I've used in all my previous videos. The audio and stuff like that there, I was able to plug in a little microphone that my son used on his headphones for gaming and stuff like that. So I was able to plug it in and get decent audio quality from it. But it just died on me and I had to get a new camera. And so I got this new Panasonic. This camera cost £250 and I paid the extra money because I thought, you know, this is going to be a great camera. But the audio quality in the video that I put up yesterday was shocking, absolutely terrible. There were some things that you just couldn't make out. Well, I found out today that this camera has a thing on it called AGC, which is automatic gain control. Basically means that the camera automatically adjusts the volume according to your voice and stuff like that there, but it makes it creates a lot of background noise and what have you. And that was switched on, and this camera gives you the ability to turn that off. I've turned that off and I've just manually adjusted the volume, and so I'm hoping that this time it's going to give better audio quality, because right now at the minute I just don't have the money to go out and buy an external microphone to be able to plug into this camera. So I'm hoping that the audio quality is better. If it's not, guys, I really don't know what I'm going to do, because the people that were complaining about the audio had absolutely every right to complain about it. It was shocking. If this doesn't do any better, then unfortunately I'm just not going to be able to make any videos until I can afford to get a microphone that can attach onto this. So hopefully this is it. So I apologise if you watched the previous review and now you're watching this one again. I really apologise. So anyway, let's get on with the review. So Koh-I-Noor, I think, is one of the most overlooked brands out there at the minute. And I personally love Koh-I-Noor. I think they're a fantastic brand, especially their Polycolor range, which is this. Now, I done a review about a year ago of the Koh-I-Noor Polycolor. It was the 36 set, just the ordinary colour range that they have. But Koh-I-Noor have a couple of, within their Polycolor range, they have a couple of specific sets that are aimed at specific niche areas, or just, you know, if you're a colour pencil artist and you are predominantly drawing artwork that predominantly needs browns and stuff like that, then these types of sets are really excellent for you to purchase rather than perhaps going out and buying the full sets. It does get a little bit complicated in certain places with regards to duplications and maybe buying a set that already has the pencils in it, and I'll go through that in a second. Now, although this review is about the Polycolor brown line set, just let me open it here while I'm talking to you. The actual range of the Polycolor line, it has the largest set is 72, okay? So that's the largest set, and the pencils themselves are numbered 1 to 72. However, in these separate lines, and I'll go through the sets in a second, in these separate lines there are some colours that are outside that 72 range. Like for instance, there's 3 in this set that are 212, 204 and 214, sorry, 207. And so it's worth mentioning just in case for duplication purposes. We'll go through that in a second. So first of all, the characteristics of the pencil. Now, a lot of this information you're going to be able to find on my other review of the Koh-I-Noor. But as you can see here with the pencil, there's not actually an awful lot of information on the pencil. There is the Koh-I-Noor Hardmouth logo printed on it, or name printed on it. Then the pencil brand, which is the Polycolor. Then there's a number here, 3800, which is printed on all pencils, and again that just corresponds to the fact that it's a Polycolor. And then at the very end here there is a number which corresponds to the pigment colour. There's no pigment colour printed on the pencil, and there's no light fast ratings printed on the pencil. Now, I also done a review of the Koh-I-Noor woodless pencils a while ago, and they had lots of information on the barrel of that pencil, which was really surprising, considering that the Polycolor is probably one of their most professional lines. But having said that, when I done the original Koh-I-Noor Polycolor review, I went across to Koh-I-Noor's website. There wasn't a great deal of information on there, at least not that I could find. but that has very much changed. So if you go across, say you buy this brown line set and you go across and you look at the number, they have the name of the color on the color chart, and it corresponds with the number on the pencil. They also have the light fast rating for each individual pencil. But what they don't have is their color chart only goes up to 72. So the 3 pencils that are in this set that are outside that 72 range aren't listed on the Koh-I-Noor website. Now, I do believe that they're listed in other places, but it would be good if they're just listed, you know, rather than having to go and look on other sites. It would be a better idea if Koh-I-Noor listed all of them. Whilst there's 72 pencils in the range, it would appear that there are actually more, because so when we go back to the sets, there's 3 sets of 12. There are the basics color, there's this brown color, this brown set of 12, then there's also a grey set of 12, which I also have, and I'll be doing a review of those as well. Then there's 3 sets of 24, okay? There's a 24 basic colour, then there's a 24 landscape, and there's a 24 portrait set. And then after that, you've got 36, 48, and 72 sets for the Polycolor line. As I've said, I've already done this review, and so some of the tests that I've done already, I can't go over them again, okay, but I'll try and show you what I'm talking about here with this test that I've done. So as you can see here, I used the colors that are in the set to do this brown hair, and you know, it's not hyper realistic or anything like that, but it gives you an idea of the richness of the colors that are available in just this 12 set of browns that Koh-I-Noor have in the Polycolor. So you can see there that there's a lot of reds and burnt siennas and stuff like that. With the 12 set of brown, you obviously don't get a black or a white, but you can buy the Koh-I-Noor pencils open stock, which they never used to do, at least not here in the UK, but they do now. I think about 1.5 years ago, they started selling them open stock, whereas in America and other parts of Europe, they always have sold them open stock. Now, one other issue that I have with this 12 set, and it's not really a big issue, it's quite small actually, but it's worth mentioning. And there'll be an image come up on your screen so you get a better look of it. The 12 colours down the side here correspond with the 12 pencils in this set. Now, if you take a look at the first 4 colours, if you look at those barrels, you'll see that the barrels are obviously, the barrel indicates the pigment colour of the pencil, and you'll see there with these 4, the barrel colour is almost identical. Now this happens a lot in whether it's markers or pencils, you know, other companies do it as well, where it's either the barrel that indicates the pigment or it's just the tip of the pencil that indicates the pigment. And they don't always match with the actual pigment, which is why I always suggest that you do a swatch of the colours that you have, and preferably do it on paper that you ordinarily use whenever you're doing your colour pencil art, so that you get a proper indication of how that colour is going to behave on exactly the same paper. Obviously, you know, you may not always be able to do it because the paper that you may work on might be really expensive, and it's not the type of paper that you really want to be using for swatches, but if you can, it's a better idea to do it. But if not, just do a swatch, because if you have a look here at the actual colours, okay, so the top one here, this yellow, is this pencil here, and then the 4 colours here that you see are the 4 pencils that I'm referring to, and you can see there that there is a wide range in variation of those 4 colours. Now there's also 2 colours at the very end there as well, which have a similar problem. If you just take a look there, the barrel colours are almost identical, and then if you look at the colours that correspond to them, which is these 2 colours here, they are definitely much closer than the top 4, but nevertheless they are different colours. Now, as I've mentioned, whenever you're doing your swatch, it's obviously going to be beneficial if when you're doing it, that you go across to the Koh-I-Noor website, you write down the name of the colour on the swatch, and you also indicate some way the light fast rating, because obviously you're going to want to know which pencil is most light fast if you're doing commissions and things like that. And here's where I think that the Koh-I-Noor brand is widely overlooked. I think in terms of pricing and stuff like that, they are fantastically well priced. They are excellent quality for the price that you're given. I think anybody coming into colour pencil art, I always recommend these pencils as a go-to pencil for people just getting started into it. They're not going to be paying a lot of money in case they don't like colour pencil art or stuff like that. They're not going to be paying too much money. It's not going to be that big of a loss if they turn around and decide they don't like it. But at the same time, they're still going to get professional results. I know a lot of colour pencil artists that use the Koh-I-Noor brand, the Polycolors, and they are producing beautiful works of art with these pencils. They are absolutely fantastic. And so, all in all, I personally feel that they're the full package, really, whenever you consider the prices. Now, in terms of the pencil as well, the actual barrel is 7mm and the core is 3.8mm, so it's kind of like an average size core, and it's a hexagonal barrel as well. So for all of you guys who don't like the round pencils because they roll off, then this is going to be another beneficial a plus for this pencil. One thing I will mention, okay, and this is when I was researching the first time I'd done this review for the 36 set. There's a big debate going on at the minute as to whether they are a wax-based pencil or they're an oil-based pencil. Now, I spoke to a representative of Koh-I-Noor and they explained to me, they said that there's 3 main ingredients in this pencil: white clay, oil and wax. But there's more wax than oil. And the reason why they've done that is to give the core a soft feel, which they are, and I'll go through that with you in a second. I'll show you in a second. But then they've added the oil in it as well to give it the core of the pencil a longer point than what you would ordinarily get with a wax-based pencil. So you get the soft and the nice layering of a wax-based pencil, but the actual core isn't going to wear down as quick as, say, like a much softer wax-based pencil. So as far as I'm concerned, that's what I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to say it's a wax-based pencil or an oil-based pencil because it has both of them in it, so it's a combination of both. Okay, so as you can see there on the previous review, I've done a test there of how it erases, but I'll do it again here for you, so you can see how the colour lays down and what have you. You will see a little bit of crumbling. I'm going to put medium pressure on this pencil. You can see there yourself that it holds a really nice point whenever it's sharpened. There you go. See, I've put too much pressure on it there already. So this is number 30. It is hard to see the writing on these pencils when it's this gold, because it glints, the light glints off it, and it's just really difficult to read it. Which is the reason why I take the photographs and put them up for you, so that I can adjust it and do all sorts of other things to enable you to be able to see it. So there you go. You can see there it's a beautiful, rich brown colour. And I'm going to use my little Tombow mono eraser. And you can see there that it lifts off relatively well. And I'm going to also use my little Tombow Mono Smart Eraser, which came in last month's edition of Colour Pencil magazine. So a little plug there for the magazine, because it's a fantastic magazine in my opinion for anybody that is a colour pencil enthusiast, whether it's pastel pencils or colour pencils. It's definitely the best magazine to get. Loads of information in it. Get little freebies like this occasionally, competitions for all skill levels, everything, so it's excellent. Anyway, you can see there that it's lifted off relatively well, but bearing in mind it is a soft core pencil. It is like a wax-based pencil, but there is that oil in it to give it that little bit of hardness in the for the core. So as usual, I have also done a little bit of testing on the black paper. Now, before I go, just let me move this, zoom out a little bit. in terms of blending, in terms of how this pencil blends and stuff like that, it blends beautifully with odorless mineral spirits. I used odorless mineral spirits on both these little snippet drawings, and it just melts. It's gorgeous. I also used the Koh-I-Noor pencil blender that comes in the 72 set, and again, you know, it works a treat. I can't fault it at all. So there is 4 colours that I'd already originally put down on the original review, which I've obviously had to do again. So I'll go through it again with you so you can see. I'm not going to be choosing the same colours. There will be different colours because I'm just going to pick 4. And it'll just give you an idea as to what it looks like on black paper. I know you may not necessarily use black paper all the time, but I know some people do, and they like to see this test. They like to see how some of the pencils react on the paper. There's also this pencil here, which is 66, and it's kind of like a greeny colour. It's the one above as well, so you can see that. And on this black paper, you can see that the pigment is quite opaque. It's quite thick and opaque, which is what you're going to want if you are using black paper. And finally, this other pencil. There you go. So you can see there what it looks like on black paper. Let me just lift it so it's not glinting in the light there. Okay, so you can see there that the colours, they're really, really vibrant. They turn out well on the black paper, and that's it. So just to go over and to recap, like I said, I really love the Koh-I-Noor Polycolor line. I think it's a highly overlooked pencil. I think a lot of people that are just getting into colour pencil, or people that are on a budget or anything like that, I think these are the pencils that you really ought to be looking at and considering if you don't want to go out and spend a vast amount of money on, say, like a higher grade pencil. But these pencils as well, this Koh-I-Noor brand, is still going to give you or allow you to be able to produce really high quality professional work. They really are a great pencil. I have very little faults with them, except for the like I mentioned, the barrel's not always corresponding with the pigment, but that happens. You know, it doesn't matter whether it's markers or other brands of colour pencil, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 sets of the Caran d'Ache range. And it's also worth mentioning as well that you are likely to buy duplicates if you buy, say you have the 72 set, okay, and then you look at the grey line or this brown line that Koh-I-Noor have, and you want to get those as well to add to your collection. Take this brown line for instance. If you buy the brown line and you already have the 72 set, you're only going to be adding 3 extra pencils. Okay, so the pencils that you're going to be adding is this one here, this 212, this 207, and this 214. The rest of the pencils that are in that set are going to be in the 72 set. Now, they may not be in some of the other sets. You'd have to look at the chart that Koh-I-Noor have on their website to see. So when we look at pricing of these pencils, if for just this 10 set, I'm not going to go through the pricing of the other sets because that's over on the other review. Here in the UK, you're looking at £10. In Europe, and these prices are from Amazon, in Europe, again, it's €10. In America, on Amazon.com, the only brown set I could find on Amazon.com cost $30. Now, I don't know whether that is a mistake or that seems very high for me. So, if you're looking to get this brown set, it's definitely worth having a shop around and see for yourself, because the £10 is seems to be the average price, or €10 or whatever. So it should be in and around that price bracket, and like I said, I think it's a fantastic value for money. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this review. I really apologise for the messing about that you have had, and I really hope that the audio on this review is much better than what it was the last time. If it's not, I really don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm certainly not going to be able to keep putting up reviews if I can't get this audio sorted out. Don't forget you can follow me over in the Art Gear Guide. There's a full written review with pricing and all the rest of it over in the Art Gear Guide of this set. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. All the links for that are down below in the description, and you can also go across to the Art Gear Guide where you'll also have links to as well. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for persevering with all the messing about on this review, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next one. Thanks. Bye.